I believe that people have a very, very hard time of distincting possessions in people. And what I mean by that is that people when they automatically think about being rich, or I'll almost say people like in a like I don't want to generalize the whole human race. I'm talking when I say people, I'm talking about most people, the vast at large. When I talk to certain people and most people, I talk to them about how obsessed I am with making money. They automatically like think about just this guy just wants to make money. That's it. And I know the way how I say it, it does come off that way. But it's not my fault that it comes off that way, because if you were a curious person, if you wanted to really dive deep into somebody's mind, you would ask more questions, not come to a conclusion based on the shallow information that a person is giving you. I have learned that some people will be very shallow how they speak and how they say things, because they don't want to overwhelm you with the entire reasoning and the entire purpose of why they're doing what they're doing. So I have recently discovered that especially when I deal with a lot of high value people, and I know some very high value people, and they talk like that. And you as the outsider, could probably just look at that as them just being like a person who probably don't give a damn about the world, don't give a damn about you. They're like, they just have their riches, they have their whole huge house, they don't have a care in the world. But that's actually not true, because again, like in my last video, I talked about being a value creator. A value creator, those are the type of people that I would say they're actually value creators. Like value creators, they actually do care about people. They care about the world. That's why they create value. But they first off, they care about themselves more than anything. And so as one of my minders, I talk about start with self. But because being like a value creator, like when you care so much about yourself and you want to, and you see the problems in your life that are harming, that could probably be harming you, or or that's keeping you from reaching from point A to point B. When you see these issues in your life and you're experiencing these issues, when you start like depending more on yourself, becoming more self-reliant, and then you start thinking like, okay, how can I get myself out of this situation? And then you start looking around your resource. You look to the left, look to the right, look up and down, look around. You're like, I'm the only person that is here. And then so you figure out how to create to get yourself out of the situation that you are in. And so my thing is like, that's why I'm so big on being curious. Go out there and study and learn and develop skills, instill as much human capital in yourself as much as possible, which you are doing now. You're instilling as much value in yourself as much as possible, and then you're crapping it out to the world. You are distributing it out to the world. And when I say crap, what I'm saying is that it may not be as valuable as to other people as it must be to you. So what I'm saying is that if you keep distributing these ideas out to people, you're instilling yourself all this information, and then you're just pushing it out, and then now you can test the market. You can see how people can respond to the stuff that you're pushing out. So it might be valuable to you, but it may not be valuable to the vast at large. And then so eventually you keep pushing this out, and then you crop this out, and then eventually you let this flow like water. And then because now you're being fruitful, you are being plentiful to the vast at large, to people, for them to prosper and for them to benefit off your creation, off the value that you have created. And then so not only will the modern like the people today will just benefit from this, and then because like that's just wealth. And then we talk about what you're going to leave after you die, and then we talk about legacy. And then so value creators, that's what they do. So it's beyond just making the money. You have the money, because you're attracting the money because of what you're putting out, the output. And then you use that money, to create more wealth. And then you use that money to create more wealth, and then after you die, your products, your creation, your films, your novels, everything, that stuff, people are prospering. They are benefiting from that generations after you. And so when you really think deeply into a person who is obsessed with making money, but why could they be obsessed with making money? What are they actually doing with the money? You see what I'm saying? And so it's not just the money. It's not the money that's evil. That's why I say the root of all evil is not. It's not the love of money. It's not the root of all evil. That's not even what the Bible is literally saying. You know, it's what you're doing with that money could make it evil. And it's also like you putting money over other people, over other things that are actually more meaningful than money. But when you use that money to direct your actions to things that are very meaningful, and you love the process of you accumulating this money because you know exactly what your intentions are and what you're going to do with it, how in the hell is that evil? You see what I'm saying? And so when people, that's why I said people has a hard time of like, they have a hard time of distincting material possessions and people. The material possessions, just that. It's all it is. It should be a tool. It should just be a resource. It should just be something that you just use to navigate you to where you're headed in life, where your vision is. That's all it should be. That's all it's for. That's why earn with your spirit. You're earning with your spirit, and you're using the material possessions to help you and to navigate you and to create and to provide and to produce. So what's inside of you? So that's earning with your spirit. Earn with your mind, earn with your spirit, earn with your entire being. So I just think it's just, that just kind of sometimes bothers me when I talk to people and they have this stigma on accumulating money, riches. What is wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. There's matter of fact, there is everything good with that. There's everything. It is very holistic. It is divine, actually, to accumulate riches. Because what did you do to accumulate those riches? If you're doing it morally, ethically, and legally, you have to have had a certain care in the world to want to create and to produce this. So, yeah, I actually, I'm actually gonna look this term up. Adam Smith, he actually said like a quote that I would just share real quick before I close. He said, hold on, give me a second. I cannot remember it by heart, and I want to quote this quote, but it talks about, here's the quote. It's from his book, from The Wealth of Nations, and if you probably never heard of that book, well, like I said, I study economics, and Adam Smith is the father of economics, and he says that it is not from the benevolence of the butcher, the brewer, or the baker that we expect our dinner, but from the regard to their own interests. We address ourselves not to their humanity, but to their self-love, and never talk to them of our own necessities, but of their advantages. So what he's basically saying is that, and to me, to simplify it, is that everybody is motivated based off their own self-interest, and so people are pretty much being selfish, and naturally are selfish. The people are doing things that they have to do, getting the job done based off what serves them, based off their own personal interests, based off being selfish, and that can actually be it can sound contradicting of what I said earlier about value creators caring a lot about the world, etc., etc., etc. But it starts with self first. So that's what I'm saying. And so when it starts with self, and when you're pursuing your own interests, and when you're focusing on yourself, and then you're instilling as much value and knowledge that within yourself, and then you can start focusing on what you can do to how you can provide and produce to other people. And so, in essence, the philosophy behind this quote is that even if a person does not care or does not even have the intentions of serving others, of wanting to produce to others, of wanting to be fruitful to others, they are subconsciously they are subconsciously doing it. Because when you're this obsessive businessman and you just want to create as much money and accumulate as much power and wealth as much as possible, pouring it into yourself, unintentionally he's producing to people around him. I mean, if you're creating businesses and you're creating jobs for people, you're creating products where people are benefiting from, that's from somebody who is pursuing their own personal self-interest. And they may possibly don't give a damn about you, but subconsciously they are providing to you. They are producing. They are producing wealth. They are creating value. They are value creators. So that's another source that supports my argument of how powerful a value creator can be and how important it is to start with self, and why I say being selfish is fine and pursuing. That's why I'm always for people pursuing their own personal interests, because when anybody in my circle, I tell them, I say, look, man, I'm all for you being selfish, and I'm all for you. Whatever is your personal interest, your self-interest, that aligns with mine. That's true love. I want people to be for themselves. Hey, that's it. Because I want them to want that for me also. I don't want people to be in the way. I don't want people to gaslight me, feeling like I am this terrible person because I start with self and I put myself first. I have a reason of why I do that, because it's the most effective way of me to produce and for me to leave a legacy for generations after me. It's the most effective way. There is no other way. If you don't put yourself first, you are fooling yourself thinking that you are being as effective as you possibly can, because it's still you, and you have to be the best that you possibly can be, and that takes a lot of time and a lot of work. And if you're not putting yourself first, you are neglecting. You are not. I won't say you're neglecting, but you're putting other things in front of you. You're not a priority. And I am my greatest asset, and so I believe in making my greatest asset my number one priority. I will never stop being my greatest asset, whether I have a family or whether I have kids. I am always going to be my greatest asset. So I have to keep investing in my greatest asset. This is my real estate. I have to keep building, developing, molding myself consistently forever until the day I die. For my own benefit, for my own good, and for the other people who's around me. So yeah, think about that. I love this. I love talking about this stuff. This is who I am, and this is what I identify myself as, and I believe that other people should make it their life mission of being a value creator. I encourage it.